Hey guys, it's Friday, and the surprise is I am starting this new series called College Football Friday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down what I feel is the biggest game of the week. In this case, it's Ohio State at Penn State. This is going to be fun. Now before we get into this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Get my subscriptions up. I want to hit 25 before the end of October. That's my goal, 25 before the end of October. I only need 8 more subscribers. We can get there. So like I said, the biggest game of the week I feel is Ohio State at Penn State. For 3 reasons. 1, this is probably going to determine who wins the Big Ten East. 2, this is Penn State's whiteout game. Hey, get out of here. And 3, this is just going to be a fun game to watch. Let's get right into this. Alright, so how I'm going to do this, I'm going to break it down position by position, and I'm going to keep track of who has an advantage with this counter. Where's my counter? Oh, it's right here. Alright, so first off, we're going to start with quarterback. Penn State has Trace McSorley. Ohio State has Dwayne Haskins. Let's just break down these quarterbacks. Dwayne Haskins, he's a pure pocket passer. He can move around the pocket and try to make a throw down the field doing that, but he's not going to end up running down the field. He's not that type of a quarterback. He's a pure pocket passer. And it's the first time I've ever seen Urban Meyer work with a pure pocket passer like this. And Meyer's just doing a great job with him. He's just working around his strengths and his weaknesses. Now, this is his first true road test. Yes, they played against TCU. However, that was a neutral site, and there were more Ohio State fans than TCU fans in that crowd. Now, let's talk about Trace McSorley. Here's a guy that can throw and he can run. So Ohio State has to be careful. They really do. Because if he doesn't see anybody open, he can just take off and run. I'm going to give this one to Penn State. Because McSorley has more experience in games like this. This is a big game. This could determine who wins the Big Ten East. And he knows he needs to be on his A game, and he's going to make sure that he is. Penn State has an early advantage. Let's move on to running back. Running back, this one is kind of even. Because they have multiple playmakers that can make big plays. There's not really advantage or disadvantage. The only difference is Trace McSorley can run, Dwayne Haskins can't. So this one, nobody gets a point. Wide receiver and tight end. This one has Ohio State written all over it. Because every game that I see, their receivers are just making plays, making the right moves, and just straight off, just being ball players. Yes, Penn State has those playmakers too, but Ohio State, it just seems like anyone in that receiving corps can make a big play. I mean anyone. And Haskins just knows where to throw it so that they can catch it. There's a reason he's completing over 70% of his passes. Offensive line, this one's kind of even too. Penn State, they've been more efficient running the ball because they do have a yard more per carry. But Ohio State, they've had better protection in the passing game. So, this one's just an even. Defensive line, this one's got Ohio State written all over it. Yes, Bosa is out for this game, but you still have Chase Young, who could have a breakout game if he does well. And you still have the best defensive tackle in the Big Ten in DeMont Jones. Ohio State's defensive line is really good and really deep. They can absorb that loss of Nick Bosa. Linebacker, this one's going to go to Penn State only because I don't really notice Ohio State's linebackers because their defensive line is just so dominant. But with Penn State, I have noticed their linebackers, and specifically Parsons. Micah Parsons has just been the best linebacker for Penn State this year, and he's only a true freshman. Ohio State, they have to be careful with him. They got to figure out a way for him not to make any plays. And in the secondary, this one, I'm giving to Ohio State. They have a lower completion percentage, and they have fewer touchdowns given up. With those factors, I just trust Ohio State's secondary more than I would Penn State's secondary. Special teams, this one is another one that's about even because the kicking game's about the same, the punting game's about the same. So nobody's really got an advantage, nobody's really got a disadvantage. It's just an even. Alright, so right now, Ohio State has a 1-point lead. However, there are other factors playing into this game. Again, Dwayne Haskins' first true road test, and I already got into that. let me get into why this is such a big deal for Penn State. Not only is it against probably their biggest rival right now, but it's their whiteout game. Hey, get out of here! And when it's their whiteout game, these players know they have to play at their best because this stadium is going to be packed and it's going to be loud. So they know they have to be ready. They don't want to let their fans down for this game. This is a big deal for Penn State and their fans. They don't want to disappoint them. So, 3-3, it could be anybody's game. I'm going to be honest. This could be anybody's game. Now, I'm going to tell you who I think will win. But first, let me tell you what kind of game we should expect. Let's expect multiple big plays on offense. But let's also expect the defense to make a few plays themselves. In fact, I'm predicting there's going to be at least one defensive touchdown in this game. Let's see both quarterbacks play at their best in this game. That's what I think. I think Dwayne Haskins is going to be just fine. In this game, he's going to show why Ohio State picked him to be their starter. In a game like this, the quarterbacks need to be at their best. And let's also expect this to be a very close game. This is going to come down to probably who has the ball last. Whoever has the ball last is probably going to end up winning this game. Now for who will win, I'm actually going to go Penn State. Look, it's their whiteout. Get out of here! It's their whiteout game. I already talked about how big of a deal that is. But also, McSorley has experience in games like this. Haskins doesn't. So it's kind of tough to go with Haskins when he doesn't really have that experience. Yes, Ohio State as a team has had that kind of experience, but if the quarterback makes a mistake, like late in the game, it's tough to come back from that. That's why I'm going with Penn State. I think with the experience that Trace McSorley has, and the fact that it's their whiteout game, okay, good. I just think they're going to find a way to win this game. Alright guys, that was the first installment of College Football Friday. See you next time.